Hey everybody, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am none other than your host, Dr. Diana Collins, and I want to welcome you to today's episode. If this is the first time that you're joining me, thank you. Welcome. I appreciate you so much for taking the time out to sit, listen. I don't care if you're cleaning in the back, you're driving to work, whatever. Thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to what we're going to talk about today and what we have been talking about in the past. Um, if you are returning, welcome back. Thank you for taking the time out, for coming back and just riding with me. I appreciate you so much. So thank you so much for that. It's been an interesting journey. This year has been very interesting. There's been a lot of ups and downs and dizziness happening this year. So I thank you. Um, what I had so much in my head. Oh, thank you to my sponsors. Oh gosh, I forgot. Don't want to forget you guys. Divine Nubian Essentials, loving the skin I'm in, loving my glowing skin. I know I'm just looks I love my skin. And like I think I've told you guys in the past, I never had a love from my skin. It was always a mutiny. My skin was winning, and now I'm winning. And I thank Divine Nubian Essentials for allowing me to just be and just show up and give my skin the amazing glowness that it needs and nourishment that it needs. So thank you to Divine Nubian Essentials. Collins Education, loving the skin that we're in, yes, but Collins Education is loving the mind and the passion that we have for education. So thank you to Collins Education Resource Management, who is doing the thing with helping nursing students maintain their sense of self in the classroom, outside the classroom. I know right now it's a really challenging time. We talked a little bit about that with the Department of Education, and they're changing the profession. And, the American Nurses Association is on top of it, as they always are when it comes to our profession. And they're like, we're not going down without a fight. I have signed so many petitions to help bring us back to where we are, because it starts in July and it affects our funding. And we all know that the majority of the nursing population are, one, women, and two, they are of the Black and Brown community. So therefore, we are impacted more than any other group of individuals. So thank you so much for that, College Education Resource Management, for keeping us afloat in the nursing profession, and also being out there in the community and teaching and lecturing about healthcare advocacy, healthcare equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also educating us on adequate healthcare for our LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus community. Thank you, College Education Resource Management. You are the best. And definitely they do have a love for passion and a passion for education. Thank you to our resident author, Reggie Dupree. You are a rock star. I know you are busy writing away. We got to get you back on the show as well, so we can catch up and see what you are up to and what you're writing, your new series. So if you have not checked out Reggie Dupree's series of Hoodoo Heaven, Return to Hoodoo, and Mystical Midlife Mate, and I think it is Midnight Gumbo, is the last one in that series too. Definitely check it out. And there is so much going on in there, and they have something for everyone if you're into fantasy and magic and those kinds of things, and you just want to escape, kind of read. That is definitely for you. And thank you to our lovely Melvira's hair studio here in Tucson, Arizona. Melvira, Divine, pardon me, Deanna, our favorite stylist, has been here on the show last season, and she is the one who upkeeps my hair here in Tucson, because you guys know I was driving 2 hours to get my hair done, because I am, somebody messed it up one time. It took one time for them to mess up my hair and my locks, and so I used to drive 2 hours to get my hair done. So thank you to Deanna D, who took on that challenge and has been doing amazing. And you have to be very particular about people who do your hair. So I appreciate you, and I trust you with my hair. And I thank you. So Melvira's Hair Studio. And if you are in the Tucson area, we have our very own female Black-owned beauty supply store, which also carries Divine Nubian Essentials skincare products in it. So thank you to Neek's Beauty Supply here in Tucson, Arizona on 22nd Street here in Tucson, who is just doing amazing things. And we're going to get her too on the show, talk about her journey as a entrepreneur and hair supply owner and the challenges that come with that. So thank you to Neek's Beauty Supply here in Tucson, Arizona. Gosh, I just love what we're doing. Also, thank you to our lovely collective, Earthsea Rising. I'm sorry, I do tend to forget to mention the art collective, and I don't do that intentionally. But yeah, we're doing some great things in the collective. Randija, Herman, Dan, Lynn, James. I mean, there's so many. Shay, we're doing some great things in the collective, and there's some beautiful art going around. So I will start posting a little bit more on our on the Soulful Eclectic webpage, so you guys can see some of the things that are going on in the community. I have been, again, not keeping up as much as I should and want to. So I'm my goal is to get better at that. So thank you for everyone's patience, and thank you for rocking with me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. So last week, right, we talked a little bit about being multi-passionate, and this, just even thinking on my sponsors, it kind of feeds into today's conversation, because all these things that everyone is doing is in addition to something else they're doing. They have several different passions that they're working on, and I appreciate them for all of them, and I appreciate them for sharing them. And as I talked about last week, being in one lane can be a little bit boring for some. Some people like being in that one lane and just treading on the miles and just riding it out, got their tunes playing, whatever. But I am definitely a multi-passionate individual, and I definitely have lanes. I do lane switch a lot, and my lanes merge, and a lot of what I do feeds off of each other. And today's episode drives into that. It really does. So, darn it, I did it again. I forgot to mention WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being amazing and housing the Soulful Eclectic, as well as so many other shows. If you have not downloaded your app on Roku TV, if you have not downloaded your app on Apple or Google Play, please do so right away. We got so many new shows coming on. I know Chris Thomas is coming on with some shows. We got some comedy shows coming on. We got some more new DJs coming in. We got Going Down on the Mic with Moni. You got the Soulful Eclectic. So much going on. And I do apologize, DJ Balo, for not saying that in the beginning when I was thanking all the sponsors. But it just goes without saying in my heart and in my mind that you guys are amazing. And I love being a part of the team. So thank you to WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. And if you have not downloaded your app, please do so right away. Okay, now back to what I was saying about being multi-passionate and how it feeds one another. And, it's a collaboration of the things that you do. And I wanted to piggyback off of last week's episode, because that's kind of what today is about. I wanted to share a little bit about what acting has done for me as I have and continue to grow in not only acting, but my acting profession, but also in my healthcare profession and my skincare profession and all these things, right? It all feeds into each other. So today, behind the scenes, right? what acting has taught me about life, and it has taught me a lot. And I use it as my therapy. I know people are like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's my therapy. I did not formally go to like college. I don't have a bachelor's in fine arts or anything, or a master's in fine arts. No, I don't. My master's and my bachelor's and my doctorate are all in healthcare. But I did get training. So please don't think I just woke up one night and just said, I'm going to start, filming myself and doing. No, I actually went to school. I took a course, many courses. Okay. To learn how to be a professional actor. I know how to be a professional nurse, right? So I did take classes to be a professional actor, and I still take classes. I still go to coaching twice a week with Billy Huffsey coaching online. I go into some workshops when they offer some workshops through SAG. I do that as well. So I keep my skill up. You got to keep your tools sharpened, right? So that when you're ready to go in and do a job, you're ready to do a job. You don't have to get ready. Same thing with healthcare. I stay on top of my skill set. I do research. I read research. I implement research. I go into the clinic. I practice my skill set so that when it's time for me to do my job, I can do my job and be successful at it there. So, I took that of what I learned in healthcare and carried that into the lane of my acting, and my acting carries over into the lane of me being in healthcare. So before we really dive in, let me just share. I'm going to share one of my tools that I use to get jobs, which is one of my reels that I use. That I put out there to pitch myself, right? Because you're constantly pitching yourself. And I'm really bad at elevator pitches, just so y'all know. I really am. I'm trying to get better. That's all. That's my list of things to do, is to practice my elevator pitch. But that's one of the hardest things when you're multi-passionate. Your elevator pitch is it's going to be touching on just about everything you're doing. So for me, narrowing down my elevator pitch to fit the room that I'm in or whoever I'm pitching it to is one of my goals. But anyways, so yeah, I'm just going to share this really quick, and so that you guys can see what some of the things that I do, right? So hi, I'm Dr. Diana Collins. I'm 5. She was something else. She was my only heart. She got good grades. She went to a good college and did a hell of a lot better than I did. I respect her hustle too.
Hear me. Mufani mama yaku ajivuni. Egypt. Lately I've been thinking emotions and these feelings.
Watch a bitch.
God said to be loving. So I love. Spendi.
Isabel, I know you didn't have family since you've been here with us, but there's someone I'd like you to meet officially.
Fine. She's going to live to see this Christmas, and I imagine many more.
Yay.
Hear me.
Let me stop sharing. I'm sorry.
Mufani mama yaku ajivuni.
Oh my gosh. I had so much fun doing all of these films that it there's so many more. That's just one of the reels of the clips. And so, yeah, and it's just so much fun. But I'm sure one more thing so that you guys see that, yeah, I'm about my business. So that you know that I'm not just out here just saying stuff, right? So here is my IMDb. So you can find me on IMDb. There's my reel. I have a couple of videos that I share as well. here are some of the things that I have been a part of, and we'll talk about those as well. But yeah, so we are legit over here. I just want you guys to really understand that I worked really hard to do these things and to be about these things, and it's not just something that I just, like I said, I just woke up and said I was going to do. I'm going to say I probably had this in my head for some time. And to be honest, because it wasn't something that was cultivated at home, I kind of figured I couldn't do it. And plus, a lot of the actors, when I was growing up, they really didn't look like me. And if they did look like me, they were playing maids, prostitutes, drug addicts, those kinds of things. Excuse me. And I knew that those are not the roles that I wanted to play. And that's kudos to everyone who played those roles, because you guys have paved the way. I'm going to say that you paved the way for us to be here and to be able to do this job. And I am so forever grateful. But it's not something that I thought about doing growing up. I went to Bishop Loughlin High School in Brooklyn. And there are a lot of kids that came out of there that are doing these amazing things in the industry. And I love them for it. And they went to school for it. They did their thing. And here I am, jumping in there and doing this. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving the growth that I see within myself. So that's why I said, let me talk about what this has taught me, because I think it's hard, because even for myself, you get that misconception that everyone you see on TV is making like all this kind of money, because you see them and you're paying all this money to go see them, and you're thinking that they're banking this money. And I'm just going to have to say 9 times out of 10, that's a negative, right? Because it's just, we know, if you've listened to SAG and you were there when they were on strike, and you listen to the stories of the actors who participated in that strike, they told their stories of how they had to liquidate some of their assets, sell their home. They couldn't feed their families. Some were contemplating suicide, because they couldn't make it. And so yeah, they're, just because you see them on the big screen doesn't mean their pockets are overflowing. It's an image. It's an image that they are successfully selling, because you believe that they are in this, they're on the echelon of acting. And by all means, they are those A-list actors, God love them, who are making buku bucks, who don't even have to do an audition to get their role. People are looking for them and coming for them. So there are those individuals. I am not that yet. I'm working my way there. I am not there yet. Manifesting it. Absolutely, I am. But yeah, so it's just those things you have to remember. So those are kind of some of the things also that acting has taught me in this. So like I said, in this episode, we're just going to talk about my journey a little bit. I've been in some indie films like The Christmas Journey, which is streaming on Netflix. I mean, not Netflix, Amazon. I think you can find it on Amazon. It's called The Christmas Journey. The newest one I did last year, My Demon Wears a Crown, is on Tubi. I've done some student films. I've done a WebMD commercial, and a couple of meaningful theater projects I've been a part of too. So I just wanted today to really share some of the unexpected life lessons that I learned on set, and embracing vulnerability for sure. Because this, for anyone who truly, truly knows me, knows that being in front of the camera was not something that Diana did. No. Camera came around. I was hiding behind someone. I was not the one in front. And now here I am putting myself in front of the camera. So that level of vulnerability absolutely is there. And surrendering to direction. That's a big one, because you're being directed to do A, B, and C. And just because that's something that you probably thought you didn't want to do or you wouldn't think to do, you're being paid, and you're in this film or you're in this whatever, you have to be able to take direction and surrender to that direction, whatever it may be. You signed on to do a project, you're surrendering to that director's direction. And that's a hard one for a lot of people that I have noticed just watching when I go on set. And here I say this, because going on set, I do observe a lot, and there is a lot of behavior that happens because people feel like they have a position to tell people, the director and the producers, what to do, especially if we are not getting paid for a project. I've seen that a lot on projects where we're not getting paid a lot of money or no money at all to do the project. Student films, I see it a lot on. I see it a lot on indie projects as well, where individuals who are acting in it feel like they deserve more and they have more knowledge because they've been in more films or whatever, and they feel like they can offer and be this person of pushback and don't want to surrender to direction. And then that causes problem on sets too, right? Not surrendering to direction and being open to direction and open to feedback. Being able to take criticism is really, really critical in this game, because you're being criticized for how you move, how you said something, what your hair looks like, not in a negative way, but in a way as the person who has written the story and who's directing the story is seeing the story. So they're going to make you into that image and direct you into that image. And that can be a challenge for some people. Sorry, my nose itches. That could be a challenge for some people. Navigating rejection with grace is huge, 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 huge. For me, navigating rejection, I don't want to say it comes easy, but I've been rejected a lot in different things that I pursue. And one of the things that this has taught me is that the rejection most of the time has nothing to do with me personally. But again, going back to that direction, if they have a specific image that they're looking for in a project, that rejection has nothing to do with who you are, but with what they're looking for, and you don't fit that with what they're looking for. So you're not going to be invited to be a part of it. You're going to get a no, or you're not going to get a call back, or you get a call back and then they say, yeah, we're not going to go. We're going to go with someone else. You have to be prepared for that as well. So navigating rejection with grace. And that's I'm always, for me personally, again, all this I'm speaking for me personally. For me personally, an audition, I am so grateful for auditions because it gets me in the room and it gets more people to see me and my skill set and what I bring to the table. So for me, an audition is a gift. A callback is a win, right? Because they saw something in my audition that wanted them to take a second and third look at who I am and what I bring to the table. Now, of course, that winning piece is getting the job, right? We all want to get the job. So getting the job is just that finale. Yes, I did it. And sometimes you get a call back and you don't get the job, but I'm still grateful and that I got the call back, because that got me in a room with a group of casting directors who never saw me, never saw my name, but they know my name. They see my name. Now, if they see my name again, they may remember my name. Or if they see my face, they'll say, oh gosh, she looked familiar. And it will backtrack to that. So sometimes there is that, right? There's also that piece where I've learned that if you're not picked for that said project, depending on how graceful and thankful you are or have been in what they have seen in you, they may invite you on another project. They're like, okay, this project wasn't for you, but you know what, my next project, this project I have, I'm definitely going to call you for that. And they call you for that, right? And you may have to audition for it and you may not, depending on what happens. Because sometimes they'll take that audition that you did and say, you know what, that's good enough for me. I know she can do the job. So I'm just going to give her the role, ask her if she wants the role or not. That has happened. And I'm so grateful. And it's because of how I am on set and how I study and prepare to be there on the set. No matter how big or how small the job is, I prepare like it's a major industry role. I do, because it's work and I enjoy what I do. I'm doing it because it's one of my passions, right? I'm not chasing the paycheck, though I'm going to say a paycheck is amazing. So please don't get it twisted that I'm doing this just because. No, I do like to get paid for what I do. But I'm also honored and humble enough to be grateful for the opportunity to put myself out there and be there. So yeah, navigating rejection with grace, right? And honoring the human story is what it's all about. I want to tell the story of these individuals, no matter who it may be. I want to be able to embrace the different parts of me. I am a Gemini. Yes, I am. There are many parts of me. I am like this huge onion, and there are layers that keep peeling, and I'm learning about me. But honor and in being an actress, it allows me to honor the human story and different parts of me I get to put out there. And so I am grateful for that. And the other part is holding on to my true identity in a world where it always tries to mold you and puts you in a box. And we talked about that last week too, in having multi-passions and how we were groomed, especially for Gen X, groomed to be in a box. You learn this trade, you do this trade for up until you retire. When you retire, then you do whatever kind of thing. And so being molded into in this world and changing that mold and just being your true identity in a time where they want to just stuff you in a box and keep you in this box. So when I talk about this episode, it blends that creativity, that authenticity, and the soul that we all have within us, and reminding us all that life itself is a stage where growth happens. Take by take. Life is your stage. And we say it a lot in film. Art imitates life and life imitates art. It is and that's exactly what it is. It's imitating life. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So so we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna just dive right into it. So yeah.
Doing. I would like to welcome you to a show that is called Cruise with Rob C, exclusively on WUBI Ubiquity Radio every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. My name is Rob C, and while taking your cruise, you will hear the very best in smooth jazz, smooth R&B, classic soul, as well as other genres that definitely define the very essence of smooth. I personally invite you to come aboard, and while you're here, grab your favorite beverage, turn up the volume, and have a seat as we set sail on this musical journey for your listening pleasure. You can find us at wubi.live, or depending if you have an Apple or Android device, go to your app store and download our free WUBI app. Take care, and as always, enjoy your cruise, y'all.
Hey everyone, Dr. Diana Collins here with The Soulful Eclectic, a podcast about being your authentic self and maintaining your health and wellness, brought to you by Divine Nubian Essentials, Love the Skin You're In, and also Collins Education Resource Management, where healthcare education is our passion. If you're looking for a new read, check out our friend Reggie Dupree in Hoodoo Heaven, Return to Hoodoo, and Mystical Midlife Mate, because everything is happening in Hoodoo, brought to you by WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. If you have not downloaded your app on Roku or Apple or Google Play, do so right away. The Soulful Eclectic can be found every Friday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on all your podcast streaming platforms, WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. So see you soon. Namaste.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for taking that time out and doing your bio break, right? Because that's what it's all about, taking that time and checking in with yourself. I got some water. My lovely husband made some fruit juice. He's been pressing juice, and I'm loving it because it saves me from going to Jamba Juice. They don't pay me for saying their name, but that's the most common one. But it saves me from going there and getting my juice that you spend like $10, $15 for, that's loaded with sugar. And I actually get all of the juice here. So I'm grateful for him and his juicing that he does. So I just grabbed me a little bit of beet juice before we start talking. So welcome back, beautiful people. I love it. Thank you for being here. And looking at a little bit of a backstage into my life, literally, because I just want to talk about some of the deepest and most transformational lessons that I've learned being an actress. As I said, I shared some of the films from being in The Christmas Journey, which was amazing. That was so much fun to play the doctor in there. To being the social worker in My Demon Wears a Crown. That was I'm truly honored to be in there and tell Sierra's story. Sierra Young is the author, writer of My Demon Wears a Crown. It's a book, and she's out of Cleveland, Ohio. And I actually went to Cleveland, Ohio to film this film, and it is on Tubi. So please look for it. I think we were on it, and then there were some technical issues with the formatting. So now I think they're putting it back on there. So just check and see if it's on, but it's My Demon Wears a Crown. And the one I just finished, like they're still editing this one. Down Radicle is the student film. And if you are in Tucson, I did not mention this film. I don't have the footage from this film. I did last year. Kate Hugo. It will be here in Tucson, filming premiere February 6th at 7 p.m. in Tucson. And I'll put that out there too, so that you can see that. But I play a hearing impaired bank teller in that one. So that was fun too. And that actually, in being in that one, was one of those I know I talked about rejection with grace. That was one because I went out for one role and had a call back for it. And then they decided during the callback, they were after the callback, I got noticed that I didn't get the role, but I got an offer to read for a different role, and which the bank teller, which initially I read for the role, and then I got a message back saying that they were going to go with someone else. And then, I was grateful. I said, thank you. No worries. I appreciate it. And then at the last minute, the individual that they chose for the role had a scheduling conflict and couldn't do it. So they called me, and I stepped in to be the bank teller, Claudia, the bank teller in the movie. So it goes to show that being grateful and graceful in those rejections, and again, being in the room and being humble enough to just be grateful to have the audition pays off. And I don't say it pays off all the time. So, it's just one of those things. I've done theater auditions. I haven't heard anything back. So you get crickets too. So it all depends. So thank you, Elizabeth Van Lasser, for that, and being in that film. And again, I'll post that information too. Down Radicle was the other one. I'm a detective in Down Radicle, and that was based off of, I didn't audition for that. Friend Chris Studenka. I did butcher your name, Chris. I'm sorry. But he has been on the show twice, and he is an actor, and he recommended me for the film. And I am so grateful for that too, because, you know, if you have acting friends, if they know something, they will also put you on if they are good friends, because you got people who just, you know, they're just right. And I think Kathy Jefferson, you guys have seen Kathy on the show a couple of times as well. So Kathy Jefferson is a very well-known actress and daytime host here in Arizona. I just got a film with her. Just, you know, I auditioned for it, yes. But she mentioned me as a possibility to work on this film that we're doing this week. So, you know, it's just one of those things that you never know. And who you know, and just being grateful to be in the room. I just wanted to go back to that, because those I mentioned in those films, and a couple of those films were due to being rejected. I don't, you know, rejection sounds so harsh, but not getting the gig the first time, but then it coming back around. So there's that. I've done some student projects. So Pima Community College here has the studio, the film classes here, and I've done some student projects. I think I have one coming up. I need to check my email to see if I have another student film coming up. But I've done some short films and also commercials. So yeah, there's been some things. So yeah, so even those nights under those hot stage lights in the theater, every project definitely has shaped me. And I've only done 2 theater projects so far. I would love to do more, but so far I've only done 2 theater projects. But they've all shaped me, not just as an artist, but also as a woman, as a healer, as a human being. They've all been a part of me. And again, as I talked about being multi-passionate, I mean, this fuels it right there. So I mentioned this word is going to be vulnerability, right? I mentioned that, but the power of vulnerability. Acting requires you to just really strip down emotionally. And so when I talk about using this therapeutically, this is how it started. It started out as therapy for me. One, I am completely an introvert on many levels. I'm an introvert who pretends to be an extrovert every now and again and regrets it, most likely at the end of the day. But most 90% of my life is being introverted. I could stay home for weeks and weeks on end and be perfectly happy. Okay. I am really looking for that ultimate stay-at-home job where I don't have to leave my house unless I truly want to. And it's not because just that's just the way I am. I've always been a homebody. I'm a latchkey kid. I grew up going to school, coming home, don't open that door, don't let nobody in, don't answer my phone, because my mom had to work. My mom and dad had to work. So I was a latchkey kid. Get home, do your homework, watch a TV show, clean the house, cook, you know, clean your room, entertain yourself in the house. We couldn't leave the house. So being in the house for me, I'm perfectly fine. So it was an emotional journey for me becoming an actor, because I had to strip down all those pieces of me. I had to really look inside of me and who I was and learn me. At 40, when I started thinking about this journey, I was starting to learn me. I was leaving a really bad relationship for the second time, and meeting my husband in the interim. And then, so it was a journey of emotionally stripping all these pieces down and learning me. And I'm still learning me. So I use it as, again, my therapy. I get on stage, I get in front of a camera, I read the script, and I bring that person to life using bits and pieces of me that live inside of me. So every role, you'll see little quirks of me in that role. And I love it. So acting did require me to strip down emotionally. It allowed me to show parts of myself that I hide in real life. Yeah, there's still parts of me. I'm sorry, my nose itches. I don't. Why is it when you get on camera and you put on makeup and all this stuff, your nose start itching? It's just ridiculous. Anyways, Murphy's Law. Yes. So to show parts of myself, right? I hide many parts of me from the real world because I feel like nobody wants to know all that about me. I think you guys know more about me than I ever alluded people to know about me. So and I thank you all for listening to the rambles of this actress, nurse practitioner, nurse educator. But yeah, this is just me. I enjoy life. I am enjoying life. I'm enjoying every facet of my life. I'm enjoying the growth that I've seen in me, the evolution of me. The evolution of relationships that I've had. In that, being an actress allowed me to show those parts of me, not only on the screen, but also in my real life, because it's probably parts of me that I've never probably would have shown in my past that I do now show in my life, because I've been learning how to be more vulnerable on and off the camera. On set, there's no pretending. You are it. I become these people. So there's no pretending, even though we're pretending, but we're actually telling the story, and we are putting ourselves out there. So whenever I read a script, the emotion that is there is real. It's me. It's emotion from some part I find and bring it to life. And I learned that from my coach. My coach is Billy. He tells me, Billy Huffsey, he's amazing. Love him. If you need a good coach and he's virtual, Billy Huffsey coaching is great. Because he not only shares what we do here, but also the business of it, right? Because it is show business. So he tells us about the business of it, but he teaches us to be emotionally prepared, that the words are just there. The words are the words to guide the emotion, right? And so if you are just regurgitating words, then you're acting. And we should not see you acting, right? And that's one of the big things that our coach tells us. If I can tell you're acting, then you're doing it wrong. I should feel the same emotion that person shares on the screen. That's why when you watch some of these movies, you're crying along with people, because they are actually, this is the emotion. They feel that, and they're sharing what they're feeling. I learned that vulnerability isn't weakness. Like being fearless and having fear is not a weakness. Being vulnerable isn't a weakness. It's courage. It takes courage to stand there and be vulnerable in front of a camera. It takes courage to be vulnerable in front of a group of people you have never met a day in your life. Okay? That is courageous. So kudos to any and everybody and all of you who are out there doing this, and you're able to be vulnerable. You are, I'm going to tell you, the most courageous person, one of the most courageous people that are out there. And in life, those moments, the moments where I'm allowed to be myself, to be vulnerable, to speak up, to cry, to say I'm hurt, I'm scared, I'm hopeful. Those are the moments where those true connections, in any type of connection, those connections happen, right? So I am very grateful for using my superpower of being vulnerable, right? I talked a little bit about receiving direction, right? Receiving direction without losing yourself. That is key, because you're going to get direction, but you still should be able to implement pieces of yourself in it. So when I talk about the things that I've learned, that's one of the things that I've learned: receiving direction without losing myself. Because in acting, you learn quickly that the director's job is to shape the vision. That's the director's job, to shape the vision. You bring the heart, they bring the lens. But you still have to stand there in your essence, in your truth, and bring that emotion. I learned that. I learned how to collaborate without shrinking myself. I still can shine in my brightest of bright as a star, and still whoever is with me can shine just as bright, if not brighter, right? I learned to do that without shrinking myself. I learned to collaborate and work together without shrinking. How to take direction without losing the core of who I am as a person. Yes, that's a life lesson. Listen, be flexible, and never abandon yourself. That is the life lesson that I learned. And part of that I learned prior to being this. So that's why I think it was meant for me to take this journey at this time. Because if I tried to take this journey when I was 20, it wouldn't have worked out very well. I'm going to be very honest with you. I probably wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today if I tried to take this journey when I was 20. If I tried to take this journey out of high school, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you. I think the trajectory of how and when I started this journey is the way it is at the time it is, because that's where it was supposed to be. It is what it is. And I'm very appreciative of that. So for me, that's the life lesson that I've learned, and I'm going to share it with you. Listen, right? So I listened to my intuition, as hard as it was not to pursue these things and get wrapped up into it. Listen and build myself. I be flexible and adaptable. I've learned that, and I use that in my healthcare, right? Being a nurse practitioner, being a nurse educator, being a nurse on the unit. You have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable. You have to think on your feet. I think being in the Army allowed me that. It toughened my skin for sure. Gave me a little more pliability and adaptability when joining the Army. Coming out, having my children gave me that flexibility as well, and adaptability, because I had to adapt and do all those things. Then becoming a nurse, I actually built on top of that. So you see how having those multi-passions and growing helps build to where you are today. So that's why I said, it's just, it all comes together. They all meet your passions. So listen, be flexible, but never lose sight of yourself. Never abandon yourself. And that's one thing that I learned too, that I did not hold myself accountable to in those years when I was 20. That's why I said, I don't think this would have worked for me when I was 20. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I tried to do this when I was 20. And I'm talking about me personally and the person I am. I would have been that person to abandon myself and become whatever it is, whoever it is that they wanted me to be, because I did not have that security in myself to stand up for myself. So it would not have worked well for me. Now, at this age, this stage in my life, age and stage, I've learned not to abandon myself. And I will never abandon myself. I'm always going to bring a piece of myself to what it is that I am doing. Yeah, I think that's we're going to pause there for a second.
How y'all doing? I would like to welcome you to a show that is called Cruise with Rob C, exclusively on WUBI Ubiquity Radio every Sunday afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. My name is Rob C, and while taking your cruise, you will hear the very best in smooth jazz, smooth R&B, classic soul, as well as other genres that definitely define the very essence of smooth. I personally invite you to come aboard, and while you're here, grab your favorite beverage, turn up the volume and have a seat as we set sail on this musical journey for your listening pleasure. You can find us at wubi.live, or depending if you have an Apple or Android device, go to your app store and download our free WUBI app. Take care, and as always, enjoy your cruise, y'all.
Hey everyone, Dr. Diana Collins here with the Soulful Eclectic, a podcast about being your authentic self and maintaining your health and wellness, brought to you by Divine Nubian Essentials, Love the Skin You're In, and also Collins Education Resource Management, where healthcare education is our passion. If you're looking for a new read, check out our friend Reggie Dupree in Hoodoo Heaven, Return to Hoodoo, and Mystical Midlife Mate, because everything is happening in Hoodoo, brought to you by WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. If you have not downloaded your app on Roku or Apple or Google Play, do so right away. The Soulful Eclectic can be found every Friday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on all your podcast streaming platforms, WUBI Ubiquity Radio and TV. So, see you soon. Namaste.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back. I totally appreciate you. Yeah, I needed to take a quick break, really quick, because that one was that's a good one, right? And not losing yourself in that, and so yeah, the life lesson, right? Listen, be flexible, and never abandon yourself. Rejection and redirection. Oh my gosh, right? Rejection and redirection. All right, so this one is a big one because you can audition, I'm going to say it, 10, 20 times and book once. You can audition 10, 20 times and book 0. You can film something beautifully, right? And then it never gets released. There's that. There is that. You can film something and you never get the work that you've done to add to your reel. There's that. You can pour your soul into a character or role and still not get that call back. But acting taught me not to take no as my indictment, right? No is not my answer. No to me means next opportunity. If you get a no, because sometimes you get crickets, right? No one's even giving you a call back to tell you didn't get the role. You just find out when the film comes out or something, and it's like, oh, that's who they chose. Cool. Okay, great. But yeah, so no to me means next opportunity. It doesn't mean that you rejected me. It just means I didn't fit what you were looking for. And you know what? And that's okay. I'm moving on to the next opportunity, right? That no is data. It's timing. It's alignment. That may not have been for you. It may not have been for me. And then there's that, right? Sometimes that door that closes isn't rejection. Sometimes it's just a matter of protection or redirection. And I another way I've used this acting in my day-to-day life, because I said at the top of this, we're not making a ton of money unless you're an A actor or actress like Angela Bassett, Tom Cruise, those people. Those people are making bank, okay? Just for saying one line most of the time. They're making good money. We're not that yet. I am not that yet. I am making my way to that, right? So sometimes closed doors isn't rejection. But here's how I use this in my 9-to-5 life, because I still teach full time and I love teaching. So I love the fact that I have leaders with me that allow me to do this, allow the flexibility to do this, because I still work. I just work remotely from wherever I am. So I appreciate that. And that's why I really totally need a completely remote job. But anyways, I use that in my life because my last work job rejected me. I worked there for a semester. And when it came time to renew my contract, they just said no, they didn't want me back for their reasons, right? They had their reasons. They didn't want me back. And I didn't take it personally. Once upon a time now, I would have crumbled and like, well, what can I do? This, that. Why don't you want me? I didn't, because I know my worth. I know I am a damn good educator. I'm a great educator. I'm really good at what I'm doing. I'm a great leader. So I know it wasn't about me. It was just I didn't fit what they wanted. And so being an actor, auditioning time and time again, and, not getting the job, that rejection helped me see this too in a different way. Whereas one time I wouldn't have seen it this way. So when that individual came into my office and was like, we're not going to invite you back, blah, blah, blah. And I just sat there and was like, okay, thank you. I appreciate the time that I had here. Where would you like me to return my computer? And he, just looked at me like, what are you? So you have another job? And I was like, no, this just tells me that you're closing this door means a bigger door, a better door is opening for me. So you just cleared the way, the path for that next whatever it is to come through and make room for me to have the ability to do it. So I said, thank you. And I really didn't have any malice. I have nothing against anyone there. It's just, okay, you didn't want me there. All right, thank you. I appreciate the time. I appreciate, the energy that I was able to share with you all. And thank you. You just made room for the next great thing. And I went on. So it's protection or redirection for you. It's not that they're rejecting you. Closed doors isn't rejection. It's protection or redirection, in my opinion. And that's how I use it. And that's how I've learned to use it in my actual 9-to-5 life, day-to-day life, right? The humanity of storytelling, the humanity of storytelling. I love storytelling, and I didn't realize how much I love storytelling, but I do. I love to tell a story. I love to share a story. The last time I learned, I've done stand-up. That's another growth for me, right? Getting on a stage to do stand-up. I've done it twice so far locally during not happy hour, but what do they call it? Open mic. During open mic, I've done it twice. And it was great. It was liberating. And I learned that I'm a storyteller type of comedian. I didn't know that. I'm a storytelling comedian. So the humanity of storytelling. So acting really forced me to step into the lives that weren't mine, right? We have to tell a story of the what's on that piece of paper. So I embody that story. I give it a backstory. I think about who this person was before coming to this junction in their life. So I create a whole life for the character, the role that I will be playing. She has a whole life, a whole story based off of whatever this project is about. So acting forced me to step into lives that weren't mine. People with trauma, joy, rage, loss, and and hope. I so love playing those facets of these stories' lives because I get to interject parts of me into it. So this weekend, just to branch off of that, we did a table read, a collective group of artists did a table read of 4 Color Girls. I've seen the Tyler Perry movie of For Color Girls. And that was the only time I've ever heard of For Color Girls. It was based off of that took me to get the book and read the book. But after watching that version, I really didn't want to be in that headspace, because you guys, if you've watched For Color Girls, you know where that takes you to. So I was like, oh no. So when I was given the opportunity to sit in this table read with a group of other actors and artists and playwrights and directors and things like that, we did this just Sunday, and it was freaking amazing. I, again, never read the book, and I read the role for Woman in Orange and Woman in Blue. I read both those roles. And when I tell you that the trauma in that poem, the rage, I felt it reading it, the loss. And then at the end, that hope. Yeah. It's just the humanity in storytelling. Like, I can feel it now, that trauma of having to go through being raped, being beaten by someone you think was your husband, the loved one, those being vulnerable in that space was amazing. So thank you to all those individuals who participated in that. But being the humanity of storytelling, right? People with trauma, joy, that rage, that loss, that hope. God, it humbles me every time. And I think I'm a pretty humble person, but that it humbled me. It makes me a better provider in healthcare. It makes me a better advocate in equity. It makes me a better advocate in the equity work that I do, because I learned how to see people beyond their surface. Now, I thought I was doing that before. This allows me to further expand on that. And I am forever so grateful that I took that leap of faith of myself to even start this journey. And I'm 6-7 years in now. Yeah. 2026, I think, will make 7 years. Yeah, because it's the same age as my locks. I started my locks and started acting journey. So me and my locks are going into 7 years of acting. So it definitely humbled me, and it made me a better provider in healthcare, a better advocate in equity. And yeah, because it allowed me to see people for who they are. And you know, I was always that person that met people where they are, but man, did that open me up even further. So every role that I play is somebody's story out there. And every human that I meet is carrying a script. They're carrying a script that I haven't read yet. And I think that is beautiful. The last thing I want to talk about before I let you go, because I realize I'm still going on and we've already been talking about an hour. Discipline, the discipline behind it, the perseverance, the presence, and the grit that has to go with this. Man, you have to be on your game. And I know I fight myself to be disciplined. I do. I am motivated, but when it comes to discipline, it can be a challenge for me. Like, I can be disciplined and then it takes me going on vacation and then that discipline is gone. It takes me being off a couple of days and then that discipline is gone and I have to rebuild again. So for me, discipline is a little bit of a challenge. It's not like a big challenge because, like I said, I can be disciplined and I am disciplined in some respects. But when I think of discipline, I'm thinking like David Goggins discipline. I am not that. That man is like superhuman. God love him. I would love to meet him one day. Read both his books, but he is superhuman. I don't have that level of discipline, but I am disciplined. I'm disciplined in my skill set. I'm disciplined in learning how to be a better healthcare practitioner. I'm disciplined in learning how to better tell a story when I'm acting, being disciplined to do the work to learn my lines. That takes discipline. Being present, my presence is there. So when I'm on set, I am on set. I turn my phone off completely. I'll send my husband, my children, a message, because those are the entities that call me and that worry the most when I don't answer the phone. So I will tell them I'm on set, my phone is going off, and I will turn my phone off. When I get a break, I will turn my phone on and check in and say, hey, I'm doing good. All right, I'm going back on set, and then I turn my phone back off. That way there's no vibrating while we're on set or anything like that. My phone is completely off. And I'm present there. And that leads into that tenacity and grit, right? You have to be tenacious to keep going for those auditions, keep getting those rejections, keep getting those callbacks and still getting nothing back, hearing crickets. You need that. You have that tenacity. You need that tenacity for this. You need that grit to stand firm and, you know, be there. So I think for me, being in the Army, going into nursing school, raising children, helped me with that discipline, being present, that tenacity and grit. So when you look at what we do behind the scenes, right? Sometimes our call times could be at 5 a.m. Like this weekend, I'm filming. I have to leave my house by no later than 6. My call time, I think, is 9. But I probably leave my house at 5, so I could be there by 7, 8 o'clock, so that I know that I'm there on time. I never come when my call time is. I always am there at least a half hour to an hour before my actual call time, because things happen. I don't want to be stuck in traffic. Now, there have been times where sometimes I gave myself that extra time, and that extra time is taken up by unforeseen things like an accident or whatever the case may be. I had to be detoured, redirected, whatever. Just make sure that you have someone's information in the event that you do have to call them and let them know that you're running late. We've had rehearsals that ran late at night. Retakes. Oh, that's the hardest. Retakes until you are so tired, your throat is tired. We did we filming in Ohio last couple weeks ago, and we ran. It was like 10 o'clock, 10:30, and we're doing this take over and over, and you know we're thinking we're doing an amazing job. It's like, oh, that sounds good, y'all. That sounds good, and you know, and the director comes out. He's like, look, we're gonna have to do that one over. I know you guys are tired. Here's the thing, we're gonna let you guys go home, and we're gonna have to just shoot this on a different day because it's not coming out the way I want it. Because you're exhausted. You're exhausted. And even though we felt like we were fully present, we did a whole dance, we rejuvenated, we did our thing, and we came back and did it. We were still so exhausted, and the director was like kind enough and was like, okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm not gonna keep hammering this because you guys are exhausted. So being fully present even when you're exhausted, right? Acting taught me that excellence is built on consistency. And I want to just say that I learned that too beforehand, being in healthcare, being a good healthcare provider, being a good nurse is built on consistency. Consistency on staying on top of your knowledge, scholarly learning, consistency on maintaining your skill set, sharpening that skill. So yes, acting taught me that excellence is built on consistency, not on the glamour of it. That's later. There is some glamour to it. That's later. But when you're in the trenches of it and you're on set, that's all you being present, being disciplined and just, being consistent in that. Life will give you several takes, right? Retakes. And if you're lucky, you'll get some reshoots in there. The main thing of it all is if you're passionate about it and this is what you want to do, you just keep showing up. You keep showing up. You keep doing the work. And that's what I do. We get tired. We get beat down. And I just keep showing up. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to, I take my leg side, sit in the corner. I'll be woe is me for like 2 seconds. And then I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do different? I go back, and sometimes I had to learn not to beat myself up and keep redoing auditions, because you can redo it 100 times and it just still not be it. And that's okay. Keep showing up. If it's your passion, truly your passion, you'll keep showing up. You'll keep doing the work. You'll keep sharpening your tool. And I commend you for that, because that's that discipline. That's that tenacity and that's that grit to keep going, right? So yeah, I'm going to just let you go, because I can keep going. So when I think about what has the acting taught me, that's what acting taught me. It taught me to be vulnerable. It taught me to collaborate, right? It taught me to trust the divine timing. It's not your time, it's divine time, right? So just trust the timing. It taught me to honor the human stories. Yeah, honor the human stories and bring a piece of you to it. Don't lose sight of yourself. It taught me to stay disciplined, which is a challenge for a lot of us, right? But definitely it taught me to stay disciplined and to just show up with my heart, no matter what the role is, no matter how big, how small, how many lines, whatever. You just show up and you put everything you got into that one line, that one word, that presence. Okay? Because sometimes if you do backup work, it's just you being on the set and your presence. So just show up with heart, no matter what the role is. Because at the end of the day, whether I'm on set, whether I'm in my scrubs in the classroom, or sitting right here in front of this camera talking to you, I'm still telling stories. And I'm still living mine day in and day out. So, yeah. My mantra when I'm doing all of this, and because I have to, that's my new thing, leaving you with my mantras and my affirmations. So bear with me, okay? So my mantra for after talking with you guys today is I show up fully, honestly, and courageously on stage, on set, and in life. I show up fully, honestly, courageously on stage, on set, and in life. So my affirmation, let me see, what's my affirmation? Every experience shapes me, it strengthens me, and brings me closer to my purpose. Every experience shapes me, strengthens me, and brings me closer to my purpose. So, yeah, so your vulnerability is your superpower. Please don't hide it. Your direction is not demotion, all right? Rejection is not demotion. It's what's used to grow you. Collaboration grows you. Get a good circle around you. It doesn't have to be a huge group of people, but get someone with the like mindset who's going to be there to help when you have those low moments and say, hey, okay, get up. What are you going to do different? Okay. Collaboration grows you. Rejection is rarely personal. All right. It's about placement, whether or not you fit the bill of what they're looking for. It's not personal. It's not you. It's not nothing to do with you. Every person has a story deeper than their appearance. You me, the man in the store, everyone has a story that's deeper than what you see on the surface. Discipline will create and can create opportunities that talent alone cannot. Okay? We have some people that are extremely talented, excellent nurses, all right? But they don't have the discipline to do the job. Therefore, they're never going to stay in one place. They're never going to get the job. Same in acting. You have actors that are very good at acting. They have great talent, but they're not disciplined. So sometimes discipline can create opportunities that talent alone cannot. In your life will allow you to have retakes. Every day that you get up, I don't live by YOLO. You only live once. No, I don't. You only die once. Every day that you get to wake up, that's a retake. You get to do that day over. You get to make up those mistakes you made the day before and do it right the next day. You get to do some changes. That's your retake. Your life would allow retakes every time you get up the next day. Give yourself grace to improve and be kind to yourself. And remember, you're not giving from your cup, so never give from your direct well. Whatever is that overflow is what you're sharing with everyone else, right? And if you continue to do that, your cup will never go empty. And I leave with the last thing that I use to drive my life here. Okay. No role is too small when you have purpose attached to it. No role is too small when purpose is attached to it. Yeah. So that's my behind the scenes for the soulful, eclectic Dr. Diana Collins, who is also an actress, entrepreneur, advocate, all of the above. That is me. So I hope this episode gave you a little insight, not only to what it is that I do, but how being multi-passionate, as I said, continuation from last week, helps feed each thing that we do. And being an actress allows me to grow in ways that I don't think I would have if I wasn't doing this. So I hope you had some takeaways there. And if something resonated with you or for you, please share with a fellow actor, actress, or someone who's considering it, or just someone who wants to have a change in life. I just felt like I wanted to share that with you guys and give you some insight into what I do. So continue to take care of yourself, replenish your energy, replenish your cup. Don't give from an empty cup, because I'm telling you, be running on fumes. All right, people should be getting that overflow. So your cup should never flow empty. So please take care of yourself and each other, and again, give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself. Every day that you open up your eyes and get to live again, that's a retake in your personal screenplay, in your film. Take care of yourselves. Namaste. Oh, don't forget to share, like, and do all that fun stuff if you so desire. And if not, that's okay too. Namaste, guys.